Mahiya naman kayo sa inyong kapwa Pilipino.
Binastos pa nila ako.
Pakinggan ng proceeds of the illegal drug trade ng Duterte.
You're a law enforcement, the highest law enforcement official being head of PNP. Yeah. You're hiding this scoundrel, this fugitive.
Hello po, magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Today po, isa na naman pong pag-uusapan po natin today. Ito po ay recorded video. So sa lahat po ng mga listeners natin that would like to comment on our video, don't forget po to put down your comments on this video and we will try to answer your comments or any questions that you may have. Today po, pag-uusapan po natin, ito pong diniklarang national emergency ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos dahil po dito sa tensyon na nangyayari sa Middle East at also sa banta ng supply, pagkawalan ng supply ng ating oil or crudo sa Pilipinas. Pag-uusapan din po natin yung inilaang 45-day supply buffer na inilaan ng gobyerno at ang mga paraan ng paghahanap ng supply.
Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon sa inyong lahat, pati magandang hating gabi. Sa mga hating gabi pa lang ang oras ngayon. Hindi ko lang alam kung saan. Yes. Kumusta na kayo? I'm happy to be back.
Oo, at balita ko nasa center stage na ngayon si Spokesjet kasi mukhang laging niyayaya sa mga events.
Minsan-minsan, oo. Pero syempre, work first before anything else. Oo. Bago ang lahat, trabaho.
Kaya bigatin talaga si Spokesjet, humble lang minsan. Kaya, and then also, ngayon Spokesjet, we would like to welcome yung mga listeners natin. This is a recorded video.
Hello,
So if you have
everybody.
any questions, and if you have any questions, guys, don't forget to put it down on the comment section below. And also sa video na ito, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. And also follow us on our other social media account using your phone to scan on the QR code na makikita nyo po dito sa ating podcast. Ngayon po, pag-uusapan natin itong national emergency na diniklara po ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos at yung um, ano naman po yung mangyari after na magkaroon tayo ng napipintong ng ating supply sa oil or sa crudo. Ngayon po, makikita din natin kung ano yung direktang tama nito sa bawat Pilipino at makikita din natin kung ito bang aksyon ng gobyerno ay sapat na. Kasi when we're talking about 45 days, meron po itong taning. Hindi po tayo ano sabi nila sa Tagalog, nagwi-wish lang, harap lang na matatapos yung giyera sa Middle East. So this is something that the president should take too serious about. Spokeset, I would like to know your reaction first no sa mga nangyayaring ito. Do you think that the 40 days buffer na ibinigay ng gobyerno is enough? Hello, Spokeset. Ayun. Oo nga, no. Yeah, nawala ka. Okay, so I think my question was, is a 40-day buffer na inilaan ng gobyerno sa national emergency about dito sa crudo natin, sa supply, sapat na ba yun o kulang pa?
Sa akin is medyo may kulang pa because it is not only about giving of aid but also of course of enabling and encouraging everyone to contribute to uh, conserving energy. Yung langis kasi nagtaas na yung presyo ng ano, naramdaman ko rin yun. Oo, kasi
Mhm.
ko half na nagpagas ako last week. Tapos umabot ng mga 1,400 yung aking ano. It was supposed to be 1,000 or less. Yeah, and tuloy naawa din ako sa mga public utility drivers, jeepney drivers, taxi drivers, tricycle drivers and others. Uh, let's face it, mahal talaga ang electric vehicles at pausbong pa lang ang electric vehicles as forms of public transportation. So we really feel the brunt of the crisis. And let us not blame the government entirely. What is important is that it's exerting effort and an urgent measure in order to prevent further lowering of the energy supply. Yes, and we have to be honest that it's our president who is often criticized, but I don't criticize him because he's done something. He knows that crises such as what we're facing right now are not within his control because we're part of an international community. Hindi lang tayo apektado, pati US. Kaya sa tuwing naalala ko tong situation na, naalala ko rin yung nangyari noong 1973 and 1979 na nagkaroon ng world oil crisis. Pero mas lalo na noong 1973 because marami talaga ang naapektuhang bansa dahil doon sa oil embargo. And so now, all I have to say is that although it is not that enough, we also have to consider how much we have allocated pagdating sa pag-alleviate ng problemang ito. That's why um, we have to be understanding and we have to join in in conserving energy. For example, kapag pwede namang i-online ng meeting, kasi pwede i-online ng meeting. And hindi natin dapat na ang ugali natin ay hindi ka makapunta kasi wala kang kotse. Marami ka ibang paraan, ganun. Pwede ka sumakay. That is insensitive. Why? Kasi mahirap sumakay ngayon kagaya kahapon, mga estudyante ko, nakiusap sa akin na online consultation na, di sila pinagbigyan ko, but I had to go to work kasi part yan ng policy ng school. So, I had no choice. I had to be there and there were some students na nagpapapirma din sa akin. They were within the vicinity para hindi masayang ang oras nila sa pagpapalakad ng mga in-accommodate ko na. Ganun din nung Wednesday.
And also tulad nga ng sinabi niyo kanina 'no, nakita niyo talaga yung epekto kahit kayo, yung pagtaas ng, gasolina. I think would you consider yung pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina ay isa sa mga issue na malapit sa sikmura ng taong bayan?
Absolutely, yes. Yes na yes, Billy. It is undeniable. Even if you are just a passenger
Mhm.
in public transport, you have to remember that makakaapekto rin sa yan because yung driver ng public utility vehicle siyempre kaya nagtataas ng kaya nagtataas ng fare O gaya nung yung sa jeep nagtaas ng by 1 peso. Mahirap ang nauubos lamang para sa gasolina at kinikita mo sa buong araw. So we really have to be understanding. We should not,
Yeah, and, also pinag-uusapan na rin natin itong, 45-day buffer, supply buffer na inilaan ng gobyerno. I think my other question to you is, we're talking about supply and demand of oil, right? Ano ba mas importante pag-usapan? The price of oil or the supply that we have?
sa akin, this is quite difficult, but honestly, it should be both. It should be both, although it is such a tricky question because come to think of it, Middle East ang siyang pinagmumula ng langis. And of course, demand, syempre, sa dami ba naman ng mga sasakyan ngayon, lalo na rito sa Pilipinas, kailangan talaga natin. So the Philippines is, it's doing its utmost best to obtain oil from other countries other than the Middle East in order to meet the demand. Yes, but of course the price, it has a lot of factors. It is tricky. It is not just one of the factors is not just the war. It's also how it's processed. It's also the origin. It's also about the quality of fuel. Oh, is it Is it a 91? Is it 97? Is it Yes, sana naman maging sensitive din ng ating mga mas nakakariwasan. Huwag natin sasabihin, mag-electric vehicle ka. It's difficult to get an electric vehicle here in the Philippines because there is no solid footing when it comes to the electric vehicle industry. It is such a young industry. So we have to be open-minded and understanding, especially towards our um towards our mainstream brothers and sisters. Ayoko sabing lower class because that would be an insult to them.
Totoo.
Alam
And
mo,
I think Spokesjet is a
ang akin lamang,
sige
kung
po.
pwede kong tusugan, ako noon, naalala ko yung estudyante ko, "Hoy, pumunta ka dito." Inano ko talaga, kinagat ko, pero naisip ko, um, naalala ko, Diyos ko, namamasahe pa, sige, sige, andito naman ako, "Sir, pwede ba kayo sa Wednesday?" "Oh, sige, sige, sige. Okay, I'll accommodate you." Diyos ko, nakagat ko pa, naisip ko, "Ano ba 'to, napaka-insensitive." Hindi, pero mabait naman siya, humingi naman ako ng dispute sa tensa ako, sabi ko, kaya dapat 'pag yung mga ano, yung 'pag kunwari kung pwede ka na mag-adjust, mag-adjust ka. Eh, because you can't keep a person waiting, especially siya student, graduating pa naman. Inasikaso ko rin yung mga clearance sa mga graduating student. Kaya
Hmm.
alam mo, sa totoo lang, we have to when it comes to this matter, okay, we should not be too harsh. Rather, we should be, gentle in our admonition. Why? So that people would know what the issue is about. And they would think of measures instead of post tayo sa kanila. Because if we impose that, that simply means that we do not trust their judgment. We do not trust that they know about
Yun.
the issue. Yun.
A car, if you don't have a
Yeah.
reliable source of income, mahirap. Kasi hindi naman
Oo
natin
naman.
kontrolado ang presyo ng gasolina.
So
So,
let us be
ikaw
sensitive.
yung tipo ng tao na, 'di ba? Yeah, yung tipo ng tao na parang kumuha ka lang ng sasakyan just to show off to other people, eh hindi po siya praktikal. Kaya I think this would also test people's resilience kung if you can actually manage having a car. Especially ngayon, ang dami ng pwedeng paraan para makakuha ng kotse, 'di ba? Yung mga utang-utang.
Yes. Nako, sa
Yeah, and I think my other question is, do you think the Philippines can sustain a long-term demand in
It is hard to say because we really cannot predict. Okay. We're not economists, but with the effort that our president has been showing, tayo sa punto na masusustain natin. But what I what I can also say is that dapat itigil na kagad itong giyerang ito because it's going nowhere. Hindi ba tayo natuto sa kasaysayan? Tingnan nyo. Tingnan nyo yung sa war. Oh, pati sa Gulf War. Marami ang namatay. Tumaas nagkaroon ng economic crisis dahil dito. Can't we stop this violent and bloody charade?
I think malaki kasi epekto kapag ganyan kasi usually American, there's always what they call the national interest. Mauuna muna 'yon kaysa sa interes ng ibang bansa, which is yung oil. Lagi na do'n nakikisawsaw ang Amerika. 'Yan ang lagi ko napapansin, eh.
Totoo.
I think um there was this other information that Secretary Garin said to one of her interview that the government is trying to get some supplies from different country. Namely, parang sinasabi nila dito was countries coming countries na in other countries, South Korea, China, Singapore, and Russia. Would this be a viable option for the government, knowing that right now other analysts were saying that the country is under a red flag stage ng ating supply sa crudo?
A practical option, yes. If that's the only option, yes, because South Korea and the Philippines have been allies for so long. So why should we refuse help from South Korea? Okay. And if that's the only way for us to be able to stretch our supply, then bakit hindi? Yes, because we know South Korea is one of the economic powerhouses, not only in the entire continent of Asia, but also the whole world. It's a developed country.
Kaso, Spokesjet, there were some security analysts were saying just because sensitive ang Philippines about the West Philippine Sea against China, and we know China and Russia are within the same alliances sa international stage. Do you think there's a bigger risk if President Bongbong Marcos will enter into a bilateral agreement for oil supply with Russia?
Okay, sa akin, it would be a security risk because China would be taking advantage of our situation. And that would be a dangerous president. But I believe our president is judicious and careful. So he will have to think twice, and he sure will. Not only twice, but 3 times, 4 times before entering into an agreement with China. At alam naman natin ang likaw na bito. Mahirap.
What if President Marcos enter into a direct agreement with China naman? Will you oppose to it or will you be pro for that?
Sa akin, I would consider it labyrinthine. I would consider it complex. But if and when push comes to shove, if China would be the last resort, then perhaps I would accept it, but with conditions. Why? Because if China were to take advantage of us, if it were to pursue its desire to take over our territories, then that is a different story. There would be war for sure. But if China were to honor its agreement and set aside the issue, then I guess I wouldn't see any problem with it.
Kaso, eto spokeshit yung para nagiging angulo na nakikita ko dito. I personally don't trust China. That's one red flag for me. If President Bongbong
Bagay.
Marcos will be in agreement, kasi para nakita ko po yung ginawa ni Duterte before. If you would notice, when Duterte went all the way sa China, yun sa mga vaccine, we found out that there was a gentleman's agreement na nabuo, which is yung pagpasok ng mga Chinese businessman, land grabbing, pogo, and such crimes na nanggaling do pakikipag
Yeah.
meeting natin sa Chinese government. And that's the reason why hindi siguro Russia pwede pa, pero pagdating sa China talaga, I do not believe sincerity of China on any matter at all.
Kung sa bagay, we know the history of China, pero yung sinabi ko is, if that would be the last resort, naniniwala ko we won't go to that extent. Mangyayari yon because halos lahat na ng nasyon sa bansa ay kalaban na ang China. Dahil ang China mapanupil. Tingnan yung ginawa ng China sa India.
But
Tingnan
what
mo
if
yung ginawa ng China sa
Spokeshit,
Pakistan.
so what if the president goes to a bilateral agreement directly with China? Would you oppose it?
At this point,
And I think sa mga listeners po natin, this is how you will see us, our guest here, that they are not just the fanatic of the president. They also have their own opinion and they also have their own stand. Tulad ko po, I'm a pro-government pero hindi po ako nag-support sa kanya nung election before. But I can say there are a lot of good things that the president is doing and there's a lot of bad things na pwede natin mapag-usapan. And I think na if we are going to an agreement with China, hindi ako pabor. Kahit na ito'y beneficial sa Philippines kasi we already did it back when former President Duterte was the sitting president and we did not even get anything in our advantage. Mas malaki yung interest na nakuha natin nung nangutang tayo. Yung mga build project na popondohan ka ng China, hindi naman ho lahat na ibigay. So, hindi ako nagtitiwala. Yan, sa China. Sa China, hindi ako nagtitiwala.
it's like having an ex-girlfriend. And if that ex-girlfriend betrayed you once, don't take her in again. Be wary of her. But I'm not saying na lahat ng babae ganun sa akin lang or sa mga babae, ex-boyfriend. Kapag nalaman mo niloko ka, ba't mo tatanggapin ulit? Diba? Na yun. Kawawa talaga tayo. At a disadvantage nga naman tayo, 'di ba? Kasi minsan talaga may mga countries, ang galawan nila is predatory such as China, exploitative din. Why? Kaya kinukuwento ko ang kasaysayan ng India and China and India, China and Bangladesh, as that China and Pakistan and China and Bhutan. Why? Because alam naman natin na ang China nang-aangkin ng territorial for its own economic gain. Yun. It all boils down to to domination. Not only domination, but also the desire to overpower other countries. Yes.
Yeah, a world domination. Napag-usapan na rin natin earlier na nakikita natin yung mga effect nito, no? Especially you're on the ground, mas nakikita mo eh. At saka napapansin mo talaga. Kumbaga sa mga commuters, pasok tayo dito sa mga airline companies. Do you
Yes.
think this will also affect the airline company and the business itself? And would you see a future of cancellation of flight?
Absolutely, yes. Because airlines rely on fuel. Wala pa tayong naririnig na airline na naging electric. Eh kung electric yan, that would be light years and light years away from now. Hindi lang light years, kundi centuries. Kasi wala pa namang nakakagawa ng aircraft na entirely electric. Sasakyang lupa, meron. Pero all our airlines rely on jet fuel. Kaya magiging mahirap ito. Bagamat jet fuel sinasabing pinakamura, pero bumibili ang mga airline ng malakihan. So makikita.
Oo, at saka ano eh, 'di ba? Siyempre siyempre
Absolutely.
hindi naman puwede lumipad ang isang eroplano sa war zone. Kaya mahirap din. Inflation naman, tingin mo, mas lalala pa yung inflation natin?
Well, for now, I trust that our government is doing everything in order to at least alleviate inflation, the effects of inflation on our kababayans, especially those who are minimum wage earners.
Alam mo Spoxet, yan din yung parang, lagi ko nagiging issue kahit sinong administrasyon o anong isyung pandaigdigan. 'Pag ang Pilipinas direktang natatamaan, ang lagi akong tumitingin yun sa class D at saka C. C, D at saka E. Kasi sila talaga yung no, yung nakikita mo talaga na nitong pagtaas ng presyo ng bilihin. And
Yes.
even if like siguro mga 9 to 5 job na naapektuhan din, pero pagka bumaba ka ng konti sa antas ng pamumuhay, sila ramdam na ramdam mo and, yeah, Spoxet, ano palagay mo dito sa 20 billion pesos na inilabas ng gobyerno through, Department of Energy para sa isang emergency fund because of this price issue?
Okay, yung 20 billion pesos, okay. Medyo malaki-laki yon, but natatakot ako baka talagang tumaas lalo, mag-inflate lalo ang presyo ng gasolina. So I think in the long run, it would not be enough. Yeah.
So sa nakikita nating gobyerno para maibsan yung pagtaas ng presyo ng kasi para nakikita ko, sa pagtaas ng presyo ng krudo, meron ding punto na tumataas din yung presyo ng bilihin. Alam natin they are separate entity, but they are interconnected to each other.
Absolutely.
Tingin mo that the action of the government is being proactive or reactive? And would this be beneficial for the taong bayan?
All I can say is that it is proactive. Why should we criticize the government? Natin, although kulang din. But of course, there are circumstances beyond the control of the government. It's hard to say this, but we have to do our part. It's sometimes unacceptable for others at first, but we have to do our part. And that's a message that should resonate right now, especially
Yeah, and
for entities, business entities. They have to know how to help their employees, their subordinates. Why? Kung wala sila, paano ba tatakbo itong mga business entity na ito? Ang business entity kasama na rin dito yung mga kahit hindi business kundi generate ng revenue.
yeah, and I think the most important key issue here na napag-uusapan po natin Spoxet is mostly the effect of it. Would it be short term, 'di ba, or long term? And I guess usapan na natin yung mga pain points na napapansin na natin early on dito sa pagtaas ng krudo sa pandaigdigang merkado. Sa mga listeners po, again, thank you po sa walang sawang support sa pakikinig po sa atin. We're on our last part of our recorded podcast today. before we go to that part, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe tong video po natin. And also follow us using your phone to scan on our QR code. Spokeshead, I think my last question for you on our program is, are we
Sige
seeing
lang.
a larger, an impending larger economic crisis in our country?
It's hard to say. But if the war wouldn't stop, that would be a close possibility. Oo.
Can you repeat?
Sure, sige. No problem. Oo nga, nawala ako Diyos ko. Sinabutahe ako ng Middle East, charis. Sinabutahe daw. Hindi, it would be short term if Israel and Iran would stop the war. Yes, and the United States would be instrumental in stopping the war. But if this is going to continue for a long time, then asahan natin heads will roll and there will be fireworks dahil talagang kakaroon ng matinding economic crisis. Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng mga gyerang yon? It is not to truly help the citizens who are affected, but to profit from the war. Kaya bakit maraming mga arms dealers? Bakit maraming mga iba pang mga yung mga builder ng mga tangke at munitions, firearms, bakit masayang-masaya sila pag may giyera? Natural. It's big business. Dapat itigil. Itigil na tong giyerang ito para hindi na to magkaroon ng further domino effect sa lahat.
Again, Spokeshead, maraming salamat po sa patuloy niyong support sa channel natin at lagi niyo pong
Ano naman?
pagbibigay ng pagkakataon sa mga listeners natin para maipaabot niyo po sa kanila yun po. Especially, nandiyan kayo sa Philippines, you know what's going on about
Yeah.
politics. And sa mga listeners natin, kung may mga comments kayo after this video and you would like to ask PostJet, just put your comments down below and we will try to answer it. I guess dito sa pinag-uusapan natin, nakita natin ano ba talaga yung pinaka-epekto nito. And this is nothing to be parang fun about. Di natin kailangan itong hindi seryosohin kasi lahat apektado. Kahit mayaman ka o mahirap ka. At nakikita natin sa ganitong krisis, hindi lang supply ang usap, hindi stability, affordability at kahandaan ng Pilipinas at ang gobyerno dito sa issue na to. Sa susunod na mga linggo, o ang magdidikta kung ito ba ay makokontrol o magiging isang malaking krisis. The question I want to ask all of our listeners is, ano kakahanda kung magtatagal pa tong krisis na 'to, 'di ba? So, yun lang yung siguro takeaway ko dito sa pinag-usapan natin. And again, sa lahat po ng mga listeners natin, God bless and God first po. Thank you, Spokesman.
Yes, thank you too. God bless you. And sana sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin, lalo na yung mga nakaaangat, please be sensitive. Do not ever criticize our fellow Filipinos and Filipinas. Do not criticize our compatriots who are earning less. Let us not be condescending towards them. Let us understand their points of view, their desires, and their problems instead of imposing upon them, because at the end of the day, lahat tayo ay daranas ng mga epekto ng economic crisis na ito. Kung tayo ay nagmamalasakit, huwag nating gamitin ang tono na para tayong nanlilibak ng tao. Gamitin natin ang tonong maunawain at saka paraya at saka syempre ang tonong hindi magdudulot ng pagmamaliit sa kapwa.
All said. Thank you, Spokesjet. At
Thank you so much.
kita-kita tayo ulit sa mga listeners on our next podcast. Thank you po and God bless.
Ano naman. Thank you so much. God bless you. Love you all.